Yes, sir, yo. Let me tell you something. This good brother Fred Thrasher, all right? I want to say, I wouldn't have noticed him if he was walking by. You know why? Because I always watch the Survival Sisters. I would have recognized the little girls before I recognized the good brother,
Yeah.
Fred. I'm Kev, man.
Hey,
Very
nice to
nice
meet
to
you.
meet you. It's a pleasure to be standing in your
Okay.
presence, number one. I really respect what it is that you show the kids online.
Okay.
I really respect that it's stuff that people can actually use. Give me a piece of the story, if not the whole story,
Okay.
but
Okay. Well,
tell
no
me something.
problem. Well, we started this probably about 5 years ago, and so it was one of those things where I was sitting there with one of my daughters, and we were watching Facebook. So what happened is I had to give. I said, okay, we'll never worry about that. We started. I give you my experiences, because that's one thing that you can't forget. So now when we talk about the experiences that we had. Hey Dad, remember we were driving tanks? Remember we were shooting out of the helicopters? Remember we were running in the woods? They remembered that. That's something I can know. I know I gave them, but sharing all of my knowledge and then allowing my friends to be able to do it, it allowed me to spend quality time with my kids, which really, honestly, for me, is more valuable than things that I had given them. I found joy in sharing that with them, because it's something that I love. But before, it started out as a hobby. So I took that and molded it into something that we could use that way. And so what happens over years, they've done so much and they've become so proficient at so many different things. They've learned, the way of the rifle, the way of the pistol. They've learned medical. They've been trained by combat medics. We have survivors that come out. You know, we teach navigation. They've done everything, but they've been doing it since they've been 4 years old. And so I was sitting there, and I was sitting there, and I was making sure that they understood exactly what I was for. But people think it's just, okay, I want them to be these wilderness girls. No, that was the best way for me to communicate my message to them and teach them how to process information. And so went to one of my mentors, and he said, "That's what you're doing with the girls." He said you're taking this gift and you're making it about them, and you have so many people reaching out to you to do it, and you're not sharing it. You're looking at the kids evolving into what you want them to evolve into, instead of looking at the evolution of the thing that you created. And he was like, "You created something great. They're the face of it, but they're not it by themselves." And so that took me to go on an entire different avenue, and we started bringing on older survivor sisters, and it kicked up. So now it's survivor sisters will always be the survivor sisters, but the survivor sisters experience is for everybody. Let's just be real. Let's just be real here. The mantra of survivor sisters is change the narrative. Like, for us, it's fighting against the narrative that people put on other people. And so we use those girls, we use women, because let me tell you something. It's easy to get a bunch of 18-year-old guys together and having to be there, hoorah, and do all that kind of stuff. But you know how amazing it is to bring mothers out, women that have been abused, women that have been attacked, and get them to be able to participate in the experience. But at the same time, I'm not the one that know everything, because I'm not going to say that. Like, there are a lot of trainers working with these girls. Understand? I have a friend. My friend, one of my best friends, he is 7th Group Special Forces. He was the first team, the black team lead. And so he comes out here and he helps. I have people from 11 Bravo. They have other people. I have executive protection people. People like Andre. I
Andre,
have
man.
so many people that pour into them, because they see the vision and they see the well worth of it. Because you get these people and you're building these people up. When you start looking at these women and these young girls, their pictures, like, they feel good. And if I can give my children confidence, do all this stuff, and communicate that message to them without preaching, that's fine. And then even let them see other men that value the same thing I value, and how they value the fact that, guess what? I'm doing this for a bigger cause, and guess what? They're not even charging me to come help participate in that process. And so
Yes.
we've done that even with these other women. And like I said, the survivors experience is for everybody. But we continue to make sure that message is being able to be broadcast in the most non-threatening and beautiful way that it can be, because you and I both know the world want to make it what they want it to make it, and not see the value in what's going on. Those girls, you seen them, they can run and gun. They can run
Listen,
and gun. They
I seen
can.
y'all had the post out right there,
Yes.
and it was
Yes.
like, go. They pick up the gun. She know
Yep.
how to load it.
Yep.
She know how to rack it.
Yes.
She know how to point it out
Yes.
the right way,
Yes.
and they was knocking targets down,
Yeah.
knocking them down. When I first got exposed to y'all, I seen y'all on the front of this magazine.
Yes.
I said the little girls on the front of the magazine
Yeah.
doing their thing.
When you see something beautiful, you have to help. You have to make keep it beautiful. What I would tell people is, like, I tell people all the time, I don't train. I don't train. I'm not a trainer, because it becomes more of an ego thing. We talk about training.
Okay.
What I've done, who I've done it to, and all this kind of stuff. Okay, well, cool. I get that. We call it. We share experiences,
Okay.
and people can accept that more than they can training. You have to get something that's going to connect them to something, and then they can use that. Because once you get good with something, you're not going to plateau. You're going to venture out. You're trying to make it, if I say you're training, it puts this kind of stigma and this mental block in your head. And like I said, that is a psychological story that people tell themselves when you say that. So that's why we don't say training, we say experience. We're providing experience. And you have these guys that are alpha guys. They come out and they're sharing their experiences. Do you understand you get more of those nuggets from somebody sharing their experiences than from training? See, when people say training, there's somebody over the top that's governing what you know. They teach you what they want you to know, not what you need to know.
Okay.
What you need to know is what's going to keep you alive. And so what I make sure that I do is provide you experience so you can know that this is what you need to do in order for you to survive. You don't have to be a 3-gun shooter. You don't have to be 20 years in the military. How about this right here? You can be a mom. We have mothers out there. We have mothers out there that have 4 kids. They're not in the army. They're just housewives. But you see them, and then you see their pictures, and then you see them shooting, and you're like, what is this? Because what happens is you get to grow with that experience, and you get to talk to people. I can't communicate a language to certain people. Okay. You can't. So, but there are enough instructors out there that are sharing their experiences, and you may find that connection, and then you get it. I was telling one girl, we were talking, and she was shooting, and she was on a red dot, and I was like, get over the gun, and she didn't understand it then. But finally, when she learned how to get over it, she was like, oh, I see the dot. Because that's all it took was that. I could have told her to do it 1,000 times, but until she got to the point of engaging that thing in a manner in which, you know what, though, it made a connection for her. And guess what? Ever since she's learned how to get over that gun, she has been on it. Ding, 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 ding. And that's what we provide. And not only that, but like I said, we do the medical, we do ditch medicine.
I'm impressed that you're saying this medical and the medicine. As brothers, we get into firearms, and like you said, we want to get training because there's somebody over you. There's somebody who's going to show you. There's somebody who's going to this. And I'm really feeling you when you say there's other people sharing their experiences with you, because you do tend to sit somewhere and listen to somebody's experiences and take it in a little bit better, and then instruct.
Yes. Because how much, if I'm telling you that in this fragmented time frame that I have, how much do you really retain? Yes. And so the thing about it is like I tell people all the time, and people come to me and I tell them, even if you're not going to shoot, learn how to plug holes, learn how to do medical stuff. Because a lot of times that medical stuff leads into you being able to protect yourself. So if you're with your wife and she don't carry a gun, she should know how to plug holes. She should know how to save people. Because that is the first line of defense. Because you're gonna need that medical bag before you need the gun. And then we also do combatives. We deal a lot with domestic violence. We deal a lot with child trafficking and sex trafficking and things like that. And a lot of these people have been abused. We teach you to fight from where you are. We teach you closest weapon, closest contact. We teach that kind of stuff because guess what? You have to survive. This is not the octagon. Sport and street do not go together. We also take them to the farm. So we have a farm and we teach them how to do everything. A lot of people never really interacted with animals in a way in which they understand how they interact with the world, how they interact with you, and how to eat and how to feed. We have a nutritionist that goes out and she teaches them how to forage. She teaches them how to find different foods, how to do water sources. The survival portion is very in detail, and we don't do it all in one day. Like we're going to build an entire city of just a primitive city, so we can show people how to do that. But yeah, we do water purification. We teach the difference between water filtering and water purification. There's a big difference. There's a big difference. And we teach them how to start fires. We teach them everything. Everything that deals with survival, we do that. We teach them everything with survival. But it's not done in a day. Because everybody can come to the experience. We've started a new program where once you become a member,
yes,
of the survival system, there's a survival system certificate. Once you get a certificate, trust me, I guarantee you they can run with any team you want them to run with because they're that.
A lot of us come from the cities, the concrete jungles, things like that.
Yes.
And for me, that was what was really attractive to see that you got them out in the yard. I like to say I'm out in the yard doing what it is I do.
Yes.
So seeing that you had them out in the yard was something that really caught my eye, and it's commendable what it is you're doing. What would you suggest for people trying to bring their kids over to things? Obviously, get on and watch the Survival Sisters. But if there was somebody who was just trying some things from their city house, what would you suggest? Growing different vegetables and things like that inside the house?
You can do like when we were in the city like that. We did those potted gardens. You can get 5-gallon buckets. You can because one thing about it, I'm a survivalist. Let's think about that. If I was in a city and I had to grow food, I would grow in those 5 gallon buckets. Put holes in the bottom of it, put your dirt in there. You only need that much soil to grow stuff anyway. You're gonna be eating it, so it's gonna produce fast, and you're gonna eat it fast. But what happens is, guess what? You can take it out during the day so it can get sun, because they're in the buckets, and at night, guess what? Take the buckets back and put them in the house, so you don't have to fight over them. There are foods that you can grow that you can hide outside. You can grow potatoes, rutabagas, you can grow all those tubers in the ground. And there's a place for you to grow. We can teach you where to grow. You get what I'm saying?
Yes,
But
sir.
and people have to understand, if you're in the city, you may not have the same engagements that we do. Let your fight be your reality, not your. No, that's not it. If you're not in a place where you have 1,800 acres of land and stuff like that, then you don't need to be really focused on it. I'm not saying don't do it. Focus on the urban stuff. If you're doing that, because you're gonna have to do a lot of close quarter stuff. You're gonna have to do a lot of escaping and evading. You're gonna do a lot of camouflage. People are like, well, you can't camouflage. Camouflage is just not you putting a ghillie suit on somewhere. You're gonna have to learn to camouflage yourself in the city, because guess what? Like living in the city of Atlanta, there's 7 million people. If it goes bad, you're gonna have to know how to survive. It's not gonna be what people think. Well, I'm gonna take my gun. I'm gonna do this one. Everybody has guns. You're gonna have to learn how to disappear. You're gonna have to learn how to do all those things. But one thing I would really teach them is in the city how to get water. How to find it. You can be in a city and there's no water. You could you can still have it in your hot water heater. You can still have it in your toilet. It may not be what you want. It will be what you want if you're thirsty. Just like with food, like you got to find food not only that you can store, because if you live in an apartment, you can't stockpile. You know what I'm saying? Big rations of food. You have to find stuff that compartmentalized, that you can slide up under the bed, put it in the sofa, stuff that you can put in your pocket. You're not putting all that stuff in that bag. If it's a survival situation, you're going to constantly be on the move. You're not gonna hunker down in a city nowhere, because if you got lights and things like that, people are gonna know, and they're gonna come for it eventually, because people are gonna go door to door. And so those are the kind of things that you teach, and we're gonna add that too, and we're gonna have different, because we're gonna have different videos and access information to people who are members, because guess what? In the city they need that direction too. And so we're going to give that to them. So I would say anybody that is saving, learn how to become a minimalist and learn how to be able to condense what you're doing, because you may have to take everything and put it in a bag like that and move it. So that's where we are.
If you don't mind, I need you to share with me, where did you pick up most of your experiences from?
I'm a country boy. I grew up in the South.
Okay.
But the thing about it is that I'm by trade, I'm a psychotherapist.
Okay.
And what happened was I was going to go. I was going to go overseas and work as a contractor, working with different vets, different groups and everything. And they asked me when I was applying for a job, would I be willing to carry a gun? I said, yeah, I'd be able to carry a gun, because I grew up around guns. But I didn't realize how much I did not know until I took those contracted classes. Now those contracted classes are different from any kind of defensive classes I've ever taken, and that's because guess what? They teach you how to get home. They teach you how to survive. Like, that's what you become when you're doing that. But what happened is it made me take it a lot serious. It's not just pointing the gun. But that experience, I've been taking them for so long. And I'm part of the fighting university and things like that. So that's why I hone my skills, and I've been able to do it. I don't carry a gun so I can engage people. I carry a gun to remind me that I have an option. And you see, for me, I think it all starts here. To be able to teach a 4 or 5-year-old to be able to do that and do it competently, that's a skill. And you want to know how good I am? If I can get these women to run and gun with any team, that's good. Anybody can get an adult male to do it, because they probably grow up doing it. But these are mothers, these are housewives, these are everyday people. And I'm not saying men can't come, but they understand that the focus of it is to provide experience to those people that would never get the experience. But the thing about it is you have to be able to control the amount of content that people get. And the only way you're going to do that is do it through an experience, not training. Training is one of those things where people teach you what they want you to know, not what you need to know. Whatever fight is realistic to you, that's what you need to be training for immediately. It's okay to broaden it, but you need to come back to what is your main reality.
When you're getting people out there, are they shooting 22s at 9 millimeters, 223s?
Yes. We started them out with 22s because I don't want people sitting there and worried about the boom and the recoil and not being able to handle it. I want you to focus on the fundamentals, because the fundamentals will help you upgrade. You will never plateau if you don't allow them to scare themselves, or do something that's going to impact that experience negatively. Nobody wants a bad experience. Nobody wants to continue to improve themselves with a bad experience. And I teach people all the time, you don't come out here with us, to be perfect. You come out here to make progress. So if you leave here better than you were before you came, then guess what? I did my job. But if you think you're leaving perfect, then I did not do my job. Because guess what? Everybody makes progress. I make progress. You know, shooting is a perishable skill. If I don't do it for 2 weeks, I got to start off like everybody else. We try to start you out with a positive spin so everything can be there. I believe in universal law. Whatever you put out, you're going to get back. And we do the same thing with this experience. These women can tell you themselves like how they do it. I've met great women, and they come across, like I said, I would go to war with any one of them. And I tell people all the time, I'm not a warrior. I'm a protector. They'll tell you like I have all these women behind me because they know that I'm a protector. Now here's the difference. A warrior wants to be a hero. A hero would sacrifice one person to save everybody. A villain or a protector, you can get rid of all of them just to save you.
Where can people find your program out, or where can people? Because I know a lot of people watch you on the internet.
Yeah,
like we spoke about the internet giving out so much information. Because that's where I see y'all. Like y'all are on my slide all the time.
Okay.
Sometimes it gets a little overwhelming. Be like, man, I can't reach out to this guy. He ain't gonna respond to me. You know, and I'm here living proof. I just sent you a message, and you was like, yo, brother, don't text me, man. Just call me. I'm coming meet up with you right now. How can people actually track down your program and what it is you guys got going on? Because I know that there's a lot of brothers and sisters who are going to be saying after they see this, this is something that's tangible.
Yes, it is. It is. I mean, if you want to reach out to us, let me tell you. You can reach out. You can hit us on Facebook, The Survival Sisters. You know, if you want to, you can hit us on Instagram at Survival Sisters 3. It's Survival Sisters 3. And if you want to hit us on our website, it's www.thesurvivalsisters.net. And we'll have all the program in there. So people can get the classes, and you can become a member. You become a member, you get all of the access to all the top classes, survival classes, gun classes, everything's online. And you get a free class every semester. And guess how much it costs? $25 a month. $25 a month will allow you, that's the introduction, $25 a month will allow you to be able to do what we're doing. And why? Because we don't even really call it a payment, it's really a donation.
Well, I'm about to get on it. I'm going to learn how to grow me some potatoes.
Yeah.
I'm going to learn how to grow me some greens.
Yeah.
Listen, y'all make sure that y'all log on to this gentleman's program, because he's sharing experiences, like he said, and those experiences mean the world. I appreciate that you shared your experiences with me, and I want to say firsthand, thank you so much for what it is that you actually put in the community. I'm going to tell everybody that I might know, like, yo, hold up, I met the dude who does this. A lot of people don't see what's behind the program.
They don't. And I tell people all the time, like I said, it's not. I'm not impersonable. Like I tell people all the time, I'm telling you now on camera. You come to Atlanta, we will provide you with experience all the time. We have people come all the time and they stay and they get the experience, because guess what? This is what we actually do. And it's not like we live like that. It's just that there are so many other survival sisters that they just enjoy doing it, and they keep providing the experience. Of course I go, because I love to see this thing that we created, because my daughter said, I don't remember us being that happy. Do you know how good it feels to see people smiling and understanding that they're great? And I'm putting you in contact and connection with these people that have done great things in this world. We start our own certification. If you become a certified survivor sister, or you become a certified backyard Rambo, that's what we call the guys. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
If you do that, then guess what? I guarantee you have enough skill to be able to survive whatever your reality is. I promise you that. So that's it.
Born and raised in the Georgia area, Atlanta area?
Georgia bred, Georgia fed, don't be Georgia dead. No, I'm not moving.
Okay. This land that you're saying that y'all are on, what do you value the most about the land? But I hear you saying you got animals there. Obviously, there's some soil there. There's some things for you to learn how to grow there. But what I'm able to take from your experiences, man, all you need is a 5-gallon pot. All you need is this. All you need is that. You know.
That's it.
These are the type of things that I'm gonna log on and I want to, learn.
And if you need any information, you got my number. Call me. Like I like to talk. I obviously don't talk, but I'll help you do whatever else, because I want to share these experiences. Because guess what? If I don't share them, nobody will ever know that I did it. Like I share experiences with everybody else, and when people see stuff and they know that experience lived through you, I can leave. Like people don't understand. Do you know the difference between rich and wealthy?
I want you to tell me.
Knowledge. That simple. Knowledge is the difference between rich and wealthy. I saw that with my kids. I shared my wealth with them. They're going to be able to be okay. They're going to be able to do those things that are valuable that most people can't do. Most people can't process information. Think about all these emotional people that do emotional stuff, because guess what? Nobody taught them how to process information. And that's what I do. That's where I come in. I teach people process information, comprehend, all those things, the critical thinking. We do all those. We even have a survival game that we do. It's not about a whole lot of shooting. Anybody can participate. Fear is the thing that stops you from processing information. And a lot of people have it because they've never been exposed or have the experience.
www.survivalsisters.net.
Yes.
Survival Sisters 3
Yes.
on your Instagram.
Yep.
Survival Sisters,
The Survival Sisters.
The Survival Sisters on Facebook.
Yes.
You can be reached in all of these places.
Yes. You don't have to be great. You have to make progress. So if you make that progress, you'll come back. You want to make more progress.
Yes, sir.
You don't have to finish today. You got to finish tomorrow. We're going to be out here anyway. When you get ready to finish, then you come back out.
Andre Glenn gonna make sure I get out there.
Yeah.
Andre Glenn gonna make sure I get out there.
I love Andre.
I want to send my man Master G a special thanks, yo, Master G. That's a special thanks for connecting me with the brother here, because now I know I got a connection for period forever.
Yeah.
I got somebody that actually can reach out to and say, hey, I think I did this a little bit wrong.
Yeah.
And I know somebody who already told me I'm going to share my experience with you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
No problem. Hey, man, it was a pleasure. It was more than a pleasure. I thank you so much. And if you want more information, guess what? You just send an email. One of the ladies will hit you up, and they will give you the extended version of whatever it is. If you have any questions, they're going to make sure that they answer.
You and those young ladies, y'all are stars in our community.
Yeah,
I know y'all not looking to be that, but y'all are stars in our community. I told you, I see y'all on the magazine. I see y'all in everything black that I go to that involves this survival community.
Yeah, we even got a show that we're doing on MS Network. It's called The Survival Story. Okay. And so we're giving them a real rundown of what a survival situation would look like and how people would interact